I'm Luke.
Yes, he is. I'm Nicole.
It's Nicole. We're here to deliver some sweet education to you guys because we build champions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We don't build weenies. We don't build wimps. We build champions.
In the live that we did on Tuesday, you had a shirt that said "I love Spark," and I got a text from a friend that said, "Why is Luke wearing a shirt that says I love Spanx?"
That's
very funny.
That is cute. Okay, so now that we're looking at this, we're not going to be able to see the comments, but Carla said, "Hey guys, hey Carla." So we can see the comments here. It might be a little bit delayed.
Okay,
so
you need to read the comments.
No, I'll do that. I'll do the comment stuff. So yeah, we're here to deliver week 2. If you're in the core and team challenge, we have our week 2 content, and we're gonna fire up this PowerPoint right now, and we're gonna deliver some sweet content. So if anybody, actually, if Carla, if you're listening, could you just verify that you can hear us? Just leave us a note in the comments. Just say that, yeah, what's up? I can hear you. That'd be fantastic. So I'm gonna read this. All right. So I think we're good. I got some people talking. So we're going to first recap last week. So we talked about some sweet stuff last week. I'm going to give you my slideshow from the current slide. All right. So we're going to talk about some nutrition information. We're going to talk about, first of all, what we did last week. We did a talk about our do angle, right? Because we're not trying these things, we're doing these things. So just a really quick recap. When we set plans up for people, we like to help them with nutrition, exercise, and supplements. And this is what we feel helps people be their best. And if I were just to tell you this, you can't really take anything away from it. However, there's certain plans, depending on where you're at in your journey, there's certain ingredients that we can plug into these 3 separate categories to help you be and feel and perform your best. So that's why your coach comes in to help you with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about our next topic. What we're going to talk about is nutrition. And we got problems.
Why?
We got problems.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the live.
No, there's problems. So some of the problems, so I'm going to identify 3 problems or concerns that we feel that people have. And we're going to talk about one of those problems today. We'll go into the other ones next time. So the 3 problems or concerns are macronutrients. Okay, we'll talk about what that is in a second. Okay. So people, when they jack up their nutrition, they have an opportunity to jack up macronutrients. Okay, which is like carbs, protein, and fat. Right? They jack up the calories that they're consuming. Right? Would you agree with that, dietitian?
I think that sounds accurate. Yes.
Okay, so people jack that up sometimes. I'm a trainer, guy. She's a dietitian. I'm just kind of,
is it that, or is it that I'm a woman and I know everything?
That's got to be it. She knows everything. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of times what a lot of people jack up is their micronutrient consumption. Not to point any fingers, but some people don't consume the right amount of micronutrients for optimal health and performance and feeling good. Would you agree with that?
I think that's safe to say too.
Okay, we're going to talk about that later.
Okay.
That's a whole other topic, right? And then digestive health would be a third situation that people totally jack up. And we want to make sure that you guys don't jack this stuff up, right?
Absolutely.
Your life is probably jacked up already. Let's not jack up the nutrition. Let's get this thing fixed, right? And just go from there. Start with one thing, right?
Okay.
You know how to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. So, which brings me to concern I have about myself is I have worms.
You got worms?
I got worms. I got a can of worms, and the can of worms is nutrition.
I have to tell you guys that Luke got here about 20 minutes ago, and he said, "I'm not going to tell you what we're doing the live on. You're just going to do it with me." Yeah. So I'm learning all of these slides and seeing all of these slides just as you guys are, and he is that big of a nerd.
It's more fun this way. Yeah. Way more fun this way. And we can't
tell me about these worms you have.
We can't reverse it because you don't know how to use PowerPoint.
This is true. I choose not to use PowerPoint.
Sure. So, so I got worms. What I mean by that is nutrition is an absolute can of worms. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things you could talk about. There's so many different philosophies. There's so many different yays or nays or what have you. And the reason that it's such a can of worms and everybody has their own opinion on it is because that I think that how many people are on the earth? 7 billion?
Something like that.
Something like that. I last time I counted exactly 7 billion. So, and there's 7 billion different types of nutrition programs. Everybody has a different plan, mm-hmm. and everybody responds different to their plan. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, so there's 7 billion people in this world, and those 7 billion people have different nutrition plans, which they constantly change depending on your objectives. So what we're going to talk about today is mainly a program based off of the fat burner category. Okay. So if you're the person that's trying to burn fat as their primary objective, this is what this is going to be about. Mm-hmm. Some people need to build lean mass to get results and see results. Mm-hmm. This is for the fat burners, so pay attention.
And fat burners are the majority of people that come in. You know, regardless if you've been mm-hmm. in fitness for a long time or right. trying different things, you know, man or woman, most mm-hmm. people that come in for the first time and start our challenges or even right. continue to do our challenges, the primary goal is to burn fat. So
correct. You don't have to. You don't have to be severely.
Most of yes.
Right. You don't have to be severely overweight to be a fat burner. I mean, it's just kind of the nutrition plan, the supplement plan that we put you on, even the exercise plan. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. All that stuff changes depending on what your primary objective mm-hmm. is. So
depends on what kind of worms you got.
Depends on what kind of worms you got. Mm-hmm. I got worms. Sometimes you just got to admit, mm-hmm. I got worms. So let's talk about this. I love this topic mm-hmm. because it's important. I think it's important for people to understand this. So the sugar craving roller coaster. You want to take this one?
Sure. I can do that. Yeah. Okay. So what Luke has on this slide right here is kind of one of the big parts of our presentation. When we talk about nutrition, and we talk about carb backloading, and we talk about how our body reacts to carbs specifically in our diet, we kind of showed this sugar craving roller coaster. So especially as a woman, I think that we were born with this amazing ability to feed right into what this is. So if you look at the sugar craving roller coaster, so if you look on the left side of the graph, it's blood sugar, and along the bottom is all of your meals and snacks during the day. So when we typically eat breakfast, you know, and a lot of the people that I meet with, when they start to tell me what their nutrition looks like throughout the day, they always tell me that they eat fruit for breakfast. A lot of times they'll have orange juice, they'll have toast, cereal or yogurt and granola, and all of those things are considered carbs, right? And carbs are the only macronutrient out of the three that affect our blood sugar. And so that's one of the biggest macronutrients that we like to talk about is how carbs affect your body, how they affect your blood sugar, how they affect your fat storage. And so if you look at this guide right here, it's showing that if we have carbs in the morning, so we have any of those foods that I just said, what happens is in response, so when we eat those carbs, it's broken down into our stomach, it's digested and absorbed and into a sugar, right? A sugar molecule. Those sugar molecules float around in our blood, right? And they're picked up by insulin. So when your body finds out or figures out that it has a large amount of sugar in its blood or in your blood, your body responds by releasing insulin by the pancreas. And so what happens is if you look at this guide right here, when you have those foods for breakfast, you have a blood sugar spike, right? When your body digests and absorbs the carbs, mm-hmm. breaks it down into sugar, you have a sugar spike. What happens then is your pancreas releases insulin in response to that blood sugar spike. And what happens is insulin does its job by grabbing all the sugar molecules in your blood and bringing them to your cells to be used for energy. And what happens is you have a drop in your blood sugar. And then say for a snack, you have carbs again, you have a blood sugar spike. Mm-hmm.
You grab a bag Sour Patch Kids, Sarah Kellogg, for a mid-morning snack.
I don't know that anybody would turn down Sour Patch Kids.
Whole bag.
Really. Or a whole bag. She won't watch us anyway.
She's watching.
Is she? Sorry, Sarah. He is. But yeah, what happens is every time that your blood sugar spikes, your insulin responds. Every time your insulin responds, your insulin is a hormone that is in charge of many things, but one of the things that it does is it actually is a fat storing hormone. So if you look at every time you have that crash and crash and crash and crash, your body is actually wanting to store that sugar in excess as fat.
Damn it!
Yeah, you are feisty today.
Well,
yeah,
I told you we got problems, and I got worms,
worms.
And now you're telling me that if I eat too many Sour Patch Kids, you're gonna get stored as fat, even though on the package it says fat free.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So, but what else is about that is that when we have those crashes, like you look at every bottom of that, and you know this, and as a woman, I feel like we get hit with this a little bit more, but every time your blood sugar crashes and your insulin does its job and your body is working efficiently like it should, every time you have a crash, you get hungry. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need something quick. I need those Sour Patch Kids. My blood sugar's low. I need to feel better. And you eat it, and you're like, oh, I feel better. Mm-hmm. And then insulin does its job and you crash again. And then at lunch, you're looking for a quick fix. And so that's kind of what this graph shows is with every single blood sugar spike, insulin does its job, there's a crash. And every time you have carbs throughout the day, you notice that in every drop that you see mm-hmm. is your body actually wanting to store sugar as fat.
Yes. We're in the trust tree here, right, guys? This is a private Facebook group. So if you could just put in your comments, I feel bad for calling out Sarah. I shouldn't have done that.
She will hunt you down.
She can hunt me down, but so
not one-sided.
So let's do this. So everybody put your favorite, like high sugar, like
breakfast?
your crash test dummy snack that gets you out of the low
and points
sugar
for
situation.
It being a carb, right? Because some people will be like, "Oh my gosh, I love."
So just put it in the notes, please. A comment on like what your favorite one is. I want to see, mainly because I feel bad for calling out Sarah. I'll put mine in right now.
But I promise she won't lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this right now.
Okay. So did you want me to say anything else about this in general?
No. How do you spell circus?
CIRCUS.
That's good. I thought there was another I in there.
Circus. Well, I will say this while he's typing in his comment because somebody has to do their job here. So if you noticed right across that graph is that stable blood sugar. And our goal with carb backloading and our goal with talking about nutrition with you and probably supplements too, right? Mm-hmm. And exercise for that matter, is to help you maintain a stable blood sugar throughout the day. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that we'll never have dips, right? But the less amount of deviation that we have throughout the day means less amount of sugar stored as fat. So.
Right. So let me throw you a curveball. Let's get everybody's brains to melt here. So insulin is not the absolute devil all the time, right? So starch and carbs can serve a purpose in our society, much like senior citizens.
God. I feel like I should do this by myself.
It's a movie line. It's a movie line. It's from Dumb and Dumber. I'm on a Dumb and Dumber thing.
But you're making fun of Sarah again.
Oh, no, there you are. So insulin can serve a purpose. It really can serve a purpose. And here's for real though. After you do a weight training session, so if you do a social distance boot camp and you got the bar, you're lifting weights, you're doing sets of 20, you're breaking down muscle tissue. That's a good time. After you lift, it's a good time to consume higher starch so you can increase your insulin. Because remember, she said that insulin is a storage hormone. Mm-hmm. And if you're just sitting around on the couch eating Sour Patch Kids, it's going to get stored as fat. But if you lifted weights, your insulin will help deliver yummies to your muscles so they can repair, which is really important.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
I think it's important to say, like one of the things that we do with our nutrition and our coaching is that one size does not fit all. Everybody's got different worms in their can, right?
Correct.
And so it's important to say, there are particular things that are part of your lifestyle. And we would never say that something is absolutely off limits, right? Like beer for me, it helps me get through this time. Some nights, I like to have a beer or two.
For sure.
And that's my lifestyle. That's my lifestyle right now. And so I'm not going to give that up, but I know that there are still ways for me to help meet my nutrition goals or my overall goals.
Yeah.
With that.
100%.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Next. So let's talk about some fat burning strategies. 2 strategies we got is carb backloading. The next one is carb cycling. So we're going to hammer these out quick. How much time we've been on this thing?
Probably a long time.
Probably a long time. So carb backloading. So what carb backloading is like Nicole said, it's minimizing the impact from starch in the morning, early in the day, so you can burn fat. So looking at the screen, you can see that protein, fat, eggs, vegetables, right, in the morning for breakfast is a good idea. A protein shake would be a good idea too. You can do there's people that do some ground up turkey. There's people that have chicken breast for breakfast. That's fine too. With sauteed vegetables are great in the eggs, or with your ground turkey, what have you. But talk to your coach. We just want to give you the principles here so you understand it. And you can plug and play. So protein and fat in a salad for your lunch. And then we got fat, protein, and if you just need a piece of fruit, if you're going to lift weights and do some resistance training in the evening, maybe having that piece of fruit will help you out. That's what your coach is for, to help you navigate that. And then at night is when you add your starch. So going to Olive Garden, right? Huge plate of pasta. Is that what we're talking about?
No, not necessarily.
Just a serving of starch, which is about the size of your fist.
Depends on the type of
It's like rice or pasta, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
For the size of your fist. Is that about right?
No.
Not even that much?
No, 1/3 of a cup of pasta.
1/3 of a cup.
Yeah, rice, pasta is considered a carb choice. So
Okay.
you probably have a cup.
What a cup.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it.
Yeah.
So that's carb backloading. Okay.
Yeah.
Your favorite, carb cycling is next, but I forgot I had this in here. So this is the meal plan. If you want this meal plan, reach out to us. If you haven't seen it, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
But this meal plan is designed to, it's 1,800 calories, right?
Yep.
You know this one.
Yeah, so I created this meal plan. It's one of 3 weeks of the carb backloading. Looks like this is week 2. It's nothing fancy,
Yeah.
but the guidelines for it are roughly 1,800 calories. It's roughly 130 grams of protein, not including supplements. But it's carb backloading, and it's not meant to be followed necessarily perfectly every day. I don't know, I'm pretty plain, so this seems like a lot of work to me. But the goal is that whatever you have for supper one night, you have for lunch the next day, minus the carbs. So if you have a steak with sweet potatoes and asparagus for supper, the next day you have asparagus or steak with salad or something like that. So you can use the food for the next day meal. So, but again, it's just a lot of ideas for snacks and meals, and I don't know, I appreciate some examples. So that's what that is.
For sure. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Well done.
Thank you.
Here's carb cycling. So there's a few layers of this. So for carb cycling, there's the 5 things I got there: burn day, refuel, 13 days on, 1 day off, weeks, and then food options. Well, we're going to cover that here. So lean in 13. So could you talk us through what a burn day is?
I would love to. So there's another slide that goes with this that kind of points out, that one. So this kind of points out what the lean in 13 looks like. So the lean in 13 comes from the 13 days in which you would follow this cycle, with the 14th day being free. So if you started on a Sunday, technically the 14th day would be a Saturday. So you would know that, hey, in the 14th day is a Saturday, I get a free day. It's meant to be a cheat day, not obviously a huge cheat day, but you talk to your coach about that too. But so if you look here, weeks 1 and 2 is day 1 through 14. And then you go to the next one, weeks 3 and 4 through day 14, weeks 5 and 6, and then you cycle back through it. So each one of those rows, you go through once, and then you go through again twice. So it's about 12 weeks. The 13 again comes from the 13 days before your free day. Included, if you look at the little flame in day 1 and 2 on that first line, those are considered burn days. That one with the little gas pump is considered a refuel day. So if you go back to those, the burn day, what we want to do on those burn days is, and why it's called carb cycling, is what we do on those burn days is very low carbs. Okay. So what I tell people is about, like, you would say 100 grams or less for carbs. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say even a little bit less than that. I would say like 80 grams of carbs or less. So overall, if you're having a meal replacement shake for breakfast, that's considered 24 grams of carbs. But then there's your low carb snack, your low or no carb lunch, afternoon snack is muscle gain or the body lean that they have an example of here, which is low carb, and then dinner. So there's no carbs throughout those burn days. On the refuel day, now you're introducing both fruit and I can't tell which like fingers doing what here. Fruit backwards. Fruit and starch. So now you can introduce and include fruit into your diet on those refuel days, and then you also get your starch with lunch and dinner. So that makes sense?
It makes total sense to me.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
What also is cool about this document is you have these sweet meal choices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who would have known you couldn't have swordfish?
Swordfish.
Or you can have swordfish.
Yeah.
Duck eggs and tofu
Yeah.
are great examples too.
Do you eat the shells?
It's carb.
It's a carb. You can't eat that. So yeah, we have this too. So if you need this, let us know. Talk to your coach.
Mm-hmm. So what I love about this one is it's new and different than carb backloading. So if you've done carb backloading and you're like, oh, I kind of want to try something else, talk to your coach about this carb cycling because it's pretty cool. And for the women that are like, dang it, I just feel like I can't bust through this plateau that I'm in. This is a really, really great option. And that's what I love about this is that, you know, yes, there is carb backloading, there is carb cycling, and these are just options. If you look at both of these and you're like, no, I don't know if I can do either of these, then you get to work with your coach to figure out what works for you. But
you can definitely meet somewhere in the middle. There's ways to modify this. I think there's something said to be on a program, on a plan. You know, when you're just when your plan is to, I'm going to eat better. You know, that sometimes is difficult to measure and really truly make some changes. So.
One of the things that it does say on here is that to avoid all dairy, more recent documents for Advocare supports including dairy in your diet. So the whole thing with dairy is that it might help, doing the carb cycling might help to define maybe a lactose intolerance that you have, right? Because lactose is the sugar in milk and dairy products. And so if you've never noticed any issues with dairy, then do not avoid dairy. It's a great source of protein. So, and fat. Yeah. And vitamin D and calcium and all that good stuff.
A lot of good stuff. Bring on the milk.
Bring it on the burn, on the refuel days.
And the refuel days, correct.
Okay.
So next week, we're going to talk about micronutrients. Those little things floating in your body can make a big impact on your health and your performance and your results.